Yo, folks. So we got a question to answer, and it's would you drink during COVID-19? And to answer that question, I went to the Strive community, and thank you for Michael B. Thank you to Kim. Thank you for Sue. Thank you for Anna P. and Susie and Michelle for all getting involved and offering me their feedback. So this is what the gang at Strive have had to say about this question in various different forms of guidance. Pretty much all people, not pretty much all people, like the majority of people who contributed to this video said they're so glad that they don't drink right now, right? They're so glad. These are the ones who don't drink. They are so glad they don't drink right now because they're able to be at tip-top shape mentally right now to deal with this. So like what we're going through at the moment is one of the most stressful moments of our time, and to be dealing with one of the most stressful moments of your time and the most unknown, unaware moments of our time, right, and riskiest moments of our time, is to be compos mentis. We need to be with it because we need to be with it now more than ever. So it's really good for the people who are not drinking to realize why I'm so glad I got here before COVID-19 got here, right? And the reason that they're so glad they got here before COVID-19 got here is because whilst they're saying, yeah, I'm so glad I don't drink, they're also saying, do you know what? Had I been drinking right now, I would be in a mess. I would be in a mega mess. And I think I am in that camp. If I was somebody who was drinking alcohol right now in COVID-19, the problem would be for me is without any structure, without any work, and without, even if I was working from home, the structure of going to work and having a boss and Monday to Friday and all that kind of stuff, it dissolves and there's no structure there anymore, right? So what does non-structure look like to me? It looks a little bit like bank holiday. It looks a little bit like weekend. It looks a little bit like vacation. It looks a little bit like Christmas or summer holidays as a kid. Like summer holidays as a kid, no school for 6 weeks. It was like an eternity, right? It's like that right now. So people are behaving in a way. They're like, okay, we're on bank holiday. We've got that bank holiday feeling. We're at home. Let's just get smashed. We can't go out. Can't go to the pub and have it. Let's just drink around the house. Let's have discos and parties and stuff. So that is why I would be drinking a lot if I was back in the, with the COVID-19. It wouldn't necessarily be through worry and stress. It would be like party mode. I'd be like, I don't have to work. I'm going to go to party. I could be drunk in the morning and do my work. My boss won't even see me, right? So I think when you listen to people, the first thing to have is empathy. Because you have to have empathy that people are going to drink right now for a variety of different reasons. And rather than us get angry about that, empathy is much better. I find with anger, there's the likelihood that you could build stories that don't really exist as well. Like, so for example, Jude told me the other day, my boy, that there were street parties in Ogmore Vale, right? So I automatically take that as, well, there's street parties in Ogmore Vale. These people, they're fucking clueless. They don't know what they're doing. They're causing harm to the world. And then I start telling people that. But really, I'm not there. I don't observe. I don't know what's going on. I don't know the intricacies. So like that anger can build stories, okay? So really important. What did Kim say? Kim wanted to draw attention to the power of resistance during this time. Kim says, I no longer drink, Lee, but if I were, it would be intense. The combination of the limited supply and the feelings of uncertainty and helplessness is a really powerful cocktail. I know that if I was still drinking, it would be out of control. Resistance would be causing me to catastrophize and convince me that things were worse than what they are, and that the only answer is to self-medicate with alcohol. It would be in such a vicious cycle, and I'm really grateful that I was able to become quite solid with my sobriety before the virus took hold. Yes, resistance will be at its most brutal right now. It will be giving you all the excuses in the world to go out and drink. You're going to die tomorrow, you might as well drink today. You're going to die tomorrow, and I can't handle that feeling, so I might as well drink today. I can't cope with the boredom, I need to drink today. So the resistance will be really strong. I'm not here to tell you in this video to stop drinking alcohol. That's not going to work, right? But I think having a greater awareness of how resistance is playing a role is key. And you're only going to get that awareness if you go on to Strive and you start talking and communicating about why you're drinking and what's going on in your life. And what is happening, conversely, is people are actually removing themselves from Strive. They're removing themselves from support systems because they're just isolating themselves and drinking. No. The other way around. Get on the Strive. Start talking about this. Start talking about the fact you're drinking. We're not asking you to stop, and just air this out and start to build some realization about what's going on, right? Really important. Because one of the problems we got here, and this is something that Anna points out, Anna says the unknown about the whole situation is creating stress, worry, and anxiety. And this is because we have a mental map. It's my hand. We have a mental map of how the world works. And now we have a pandemic. And we've never had a pandemic before. So now we have no idea. We have no map. We have no map about how the world works. We've never been in this situation before. And we start to worry because we don't have that mental map. So guess what, folks? Build a mental map. What do you want life to look like right now because of COVID-19? How are you going to figure it out? What are the grocery runs going to be like? How are you going to do it? How are you going to get stuff? How are you going to go to bed? What are you going to do in the day? How are you going to work? Start to create yourself a mental mind map of how the world is working. A map of how the world is working right now. Because you don't have one, you need to create one. The other thing Anna said I thought was really interesting is she's having flashbacks to her childhood. Anna currently lives in Australia. She was raised in Russia, and she's saying, I'm having these flashbacks about when I was feeling unsafe back in Russia and I was not secure in my world and we didn't have any food. You know, right now we're having that lack mentality is here again, and worrying, uncertain about not being able to get basic stuff. So we are going to catastrophize in different ways, and one of them is we're going to go back to a previous time. So it's really important, I think, to try as much as possible to practice mindfulness and meditation and not leap into the future and not dive into the back. Alcohol memes is another one that's bugging Anna. Seeing alcohol memes as a way to cope, jokes, and people stockpiling alcohol, people normalizing alcohol as an okay dependency. That is actually part of alcoholism's invisible, violent, and dominant belief system, the whole absurdity of it and normalizing alcohol. We at Strive know that it's not normal to drink alcohol, okay? My answer, actually, for me personally, with alcohol memes is, you know, what are you doing on Facebook? What are you doing on Twitter? Where are these memes? And why are they hitting you? So, for example, I'm on Instagram, right? So it's highly likely that being on Instagram, there's a big flow of traffic out there of memes like with the absurdity and whine a Clark and get yourself smashed. I'm not seeing them because I've got a carefully curated feed. So if you're on Facebook, for example, look at your feed. Who are your friends? What are they talking about? Why are they your friends? Why are you interested in what they're talking about? So if you've got people on there saying, yeah, I'm getting fucking smashed, delete them, get rid of them, block them. You know, there is an easy answer to the alcohol meme situation, okay? Easy answer to that one. The other thing that's going on is people are drinking because they're bored, all right? Now, Sam Harris always says that boredom is merely the inability to pay attention. Personally, I can't believe that anybody in this day and age can ever be bored. And if you are bored, you really need to ask yourself, what is my meaning and purpose? Do I have epic meaning and calling in my life? If not, why not? And how can I get the help and support to start creating this? And what a brilliant time, whilst we're stuck in the house and we're afraid of going out into the world, to start working on epic meaning and calling, start asking those bigger questions, okay? But what Sue actually said here is, I don't have a problem with alcohol, said Sue, but I have been using sugar to get that kind of like dopamine kick, that pleasure seeking. So, you know, be aware that if you usually go outdoors, so we use the color code personality test at Strive, and some people are yellows, which means they're fun and happy-go-lucky. If you can't get that pleasure outside, you've got to create ways within your family home of creating that pleasure. You've got to play Buckaroo, baby. You've got to play Mousetrap. You've got to play Monopoly. You've got to have a dance party. This morning, myself and my wife and Zia, we dressed up in fancy dress, stupid, like, clothing. We downloaded Cosmic Yoga off YouTube, and we did like the Wizard of Oz yoga dressed up like a bunch of idiots, and we had a really good time doing it, and that's how we got our dopamine hit, right? It also gives you an opportunity now to lean into your introvert side. So I don't believe that we're extroverts or introverts. We're along a spectrum with extroversion here, introversion there, and sometimes we're a little bit like this. This gives us the ability, especially the ones that heavily lean into the extroversion side, to lean into your introversion and to start doing things that, you know, are a little bit different. And everybody should be trying to do things differently right now. Like, people are worrying that they might not have a job, that they're going to lose their income, for example, right? Well, what a wonderful time to start, like, thinking to yourself, how could I make myself indispensable? What could I do right now in order for me to reduce the likelihood that I am going to lose my income, as an example? Okay. Last thing I want to touch upon, I know this is a long one, but we had a lot of feedback with it. Going out to the shop to get alcohol right now is a particular problem, right? Let's say you've got kids, let's say you've got a wife, and you decide that you're going to go out to drink alcohol. You can't dress this up any other way. You're putting your family at risk, right? You're putting your family at risk. However, at the same time, you have an addiction to feed, okay? Now, all that's going to happen if you don't address this as a family unit is you're just going to fight about it. Every single time you go out to get your alcohol, you're going to feel really bad that you're putting your family at risk. They're going to be terrified, and you're also going to be compelled and needing to buy this alcohol. So you need to find a win-win situation. Maybe if you really, really need to drink alcohol, then you need to find a way that you can stockpile this stuff so you don't have to go out that often. But you reach a resolution with your partner whereby, you can only have access to alcohol after you've done certain things. Maybe you show him on a little sticky note on the fridge, you can give me alcohol if I do X, Y, Z. And that X, Y, Z could be posting on Strive, joining the Strive WhatsApp group and telling them I'm triggered right now, sitting with my feelings for at least 10 minutes in meditative pose, okay? I'm doing 5 of my 10 things on my toolkit. Whatever it is, once you demonstrate that you've done that, and then you say to your partner, but it's not working, I still really, really need a drink, then I think that's okay that they open that up for you, right? If that is the win-win that you've got. That situation is much better than this constant to and fro and worry about going out and getting the booze and putting people's lives at risk, because all that will happen is there'll be just shame everywhere. You'll feel shame from going. The person who doesn't want you to go will be offloading shame onto you. You're going to kill us all. Like, that's just like a shame bomb being dropped in your lap, okay? So there are some thoughts and feelings around the question, would you drink during coronavirus? And I guess to summarize from my own input, would I drink during a coronavirus right now? No. Rationally and logically, as somebody who doesn't drink alcohol, it seems insane, right? Like, it's just going to weaken your immune system. It's going to put you in a funk. You're going to be like a zombie. You're not going to be on tip-top form. You're not going to be able to look after your family as well. You're not going to be able to look after yourself all at a time when you need to be really on top of your game, right? However, I'm also massively aware that drinking alcohol is not a rational and logical thing. It is an emotional thing. And right now, our emotions are all over the place, right? And I know as well that had I been drinking right now during the coronavirus pandemic, I would be drinking more than ever because of the bank holiday feeling, the need to, the value that I associated with boredom and socializing and all that kind of stuff. I would have been smashing it. But we don't need alcohol. We really don't need alcohol, okay? I'm telling you that, all right? I'll give you a good example. So back to Ogmore Vale again. I rang my boy yesterday and he said to me, I said, what's that noise in the background? He said, your mate next door, like a friend of mine, he's out the front and he's got a tuxedo on and there's music blaring in the street and they're playing bingo. So everybody's on the porch playing bingo, right? And they're having a laugh. And he said he's going to dress up as Spider-Man. He's going to run up a street so all the kids can go crazy, right? Now, I'm not there in that street, but knowing Ogmore Vale as I know it, I would guarantee that most people on their porches playing bingo are drinking alcohol, right? They don't need to drink alcohol. The fun is in playing bingo. The fun is in listening to music. The fun is in being in a community and raising money for the national health. They raised $3,000, right? The fun is the kids seeing Spider-Man running up a street. What element of alcohol has anything to do with this? It doesn't improve the situation whatsoever. It just diminishes it. For example, if nobody's drinking, they're all more than capable of keeping 6-foot distance. But if you start drinking, then you're going to lower your inhibitions and the likelihood is you're going to take risks because that's what happens when you drink alcohol, okay? If you're playing bingo and you're enjoying it, but you drink more, you're less likely to enjoy it because you won't be able to read properly. You won't be able to write properly. You won't know when you've won properly. You won't even remember if you've won, right? Come on, folks, right? So there's that element of it. We do not need to drink in this crisis. We do not need to, okay? However, the caveat is if you're really, 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 really struggling, I'm telling you, I understand why it's happening, okay? I understand why it's happening. I understand why you're doing it. So it's a little bit of a delicate one, this one. What do you think about it? Would you drink during the coronavirus? Let me know. Put a little note in the video below. Thank you very much, as always.